Welcome back everybody to another update. We're on update number 31 and yeah, this might well be the last big haul for a little while. I'll explain later why, but regardless, yeah, bought quite a lot in the last few weeks. So as per usual, we'll go through the more basic Blu-rays and then we'll go on to the more boutique labels. So yeah, the first of the more basic Blu-rays is Jack the Giant Slayer. Now HMV have currently have a 50% sale on. I think they're clearing out a lot of their more basic stock or the stock that's just not been shifting. And yeah, this is as well as many others that we have in terms of the basic Blu-rays is part of that. And yeah, even though the director Bryan Singer is a little bit of a toxic name nowadays, I still find this to be a really rather enjoyable film, kind of like a throwback to the kind of fantasy films of the 50s and the 60s. And it's got a really good cast in it as well. You've got Nicholas Hoult, Stanley Tucci, Ian McShane, Bill Nighy, and Ewan McGregor. And yeah, they all put in good performances, and it's just a general, light-hearted kind of fun ride, really, in a lot of ways. So yeah, enjoyable film. Standardish kind of disc out of except for the fact that it's in black and white, which I wasn't expecting. So yeah, but still, a fun enough film. And then we have Goosebumps. Now this was originally $3.99, and then it was going for £1.49, and I was hardly going to throw the chance to get this just for that amount. In CEX, you'd be lucky to get it for that kind of price, and then it will be used as well. So yeah, it's a fun film. Not the sequel isn't as good as this by any means. You get a nice slip cover as well, but it's still a really rather solid effort. Jack Black and Dylan Minnette, is it? Yeah, Dylan Minnette is pretty good, and yeah, it's got good CGI, and it's just a general nice, light-hearted, fun Halloween film. Basically, it's only PG. So yeah, if you've got young kids or young teenagers or anything like that, then I do highly recommend that as a family film for the Halloween season, which is rapidly coming up across us. A film that isn't really for the whole family, especially for Halloween, is Oculus. Now this is done by Mike Flanagan, who's done a bunch of more well-known stuff recently, like The Haunting of Hill House for Netflix. I've not seen the series myself, but I have heard good things, and yeah, this is a really solid effort. Basic disc. I think I forgot to show you the one. No, I didn't. I did show you it. Sorry. But yeah, basic disc for Oculus, but again, going only for half the price it was originally, which I think was £4. So yeah, pretty good film. Got Karen Gillan in it, who most people probably know from either the Jumanji films or Doctor Who, but still, pretty damn good horror film. And then we have A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. Now this is black and white. It's a little artsy, but it's a pretty damn good film. I think it's Iranian, but it's a pretty good take on the whole vampire, lore aspect. And yeah, really enjoyable film. It's been a while since I've seen it. Came out in 2014, 15, but yeah, pretty damn good film, to be honest, and I do highly recommend it, especially if you're into your vampire lore films and stuff like that, and you want to have a different kind of take on it. Then I do highly recommend it. Then probably one of the best, found footage films going, Troll Hunter, set in Norway and actually Norwegian as well, and yeah, pretty damn good film. This is easily my favourite found footage film. Yeah, it's got some of the problems of like why they're still filming when you should be pretty much running for your life, and the shaky cam and stuff like that. But on the whole, a really good effort. Then we have, before the TV series, that is, What We Do in the Shadows. Now the TV series is great. This is a pretty good film as well, but the TV series is definitely where a lot of the laughs and general hilarity are to be found. But yeah, still a really good film. Pretty short as well. I think it's only it's 85 minutes long, so it's basically an extended version of one of the episodes of the TV series. And yeah, stars Taika Waititi, who also produced it, and yeah, he also co-directed and co-wrote it as well. So yeah, it's a pretty solid film. But like I said, if you enjoy the film and you've not seen the TV series, then go watch the TV series because it is excellent. And yeah, they're only short episodes as well. They're only like 25 minutes, 30 minutes long, so easy enough to get into. And then we have Bloodfather, starring Mel Gibson. Now I know he's another problematic name in the film industry, but I do enjoy his films, and yeah, I just can't get away from that fact. So yeah, obviously not every film he's done is great, but this is a really, really solid later effort from him. And yeah, I do highly recommend it if you're into action thrillers. And yeah, it's got a the supporting cast is only basic in some regards, because the only name in there I recognise is William H. Macy. But yeah, it's well directed, and yeah, Mel Gibson is really good in the lead role. And then a more recent favourite that isn't particularly violent but is still pretty good in its own right, and that is The Kid Who Would Be King. Came out in 2019. Really enjoyed it at the time, so it has been a while since I've watched it. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to like it all that much, to be honest, because I heard it wasn't as violent as Attack the Block, which was also directed by Joe Cornish. But yeah, really good cast in this as well. You got Rebecca Ferguson, Patrick Stewart in it, in the more mature roles. But yeah, even the kids are pretty good in it as well. And yeah, really does nail the fantasy element as well. And finally, in terms of basic Blu-rays, but this is from a label that I've talked about as well, Final Cut Entertainment. You'll have seen it in my previous video if you watched that. That is Invaders from Mars. Really good 80s remake of a 50s film, especially since I'm not a massive fan of the 50s film either, unlike the other remakes of 50s efforts like The Blob, The Thing and The Fly. Not a massive fan of the original film, but this is a really, really good solid remake. And yeah, just a shame it cost quite a lot to find, really, because it came out several years ago, and for some reason it's a really rather rare release from Final Cut for some reason, although their other films are quite easy to find, but for that one, for some reason, really wasn't. And yeah, only got one 4K this for this update, and that is The Mummy Returns. I bought this thinking I had The Mummy on 4K already. I didn't, so that's another thing I'm going to have to find at some point. But still, it's got the 4K disc and the Blu-ray, which are different in terms of their prints as well, which is nice to see. But yeah, not as good as the first film, but still a solid sequel in its own right, in terms of the fact that it does what a sequel should. Expand upon the characters, ramp up the action and the set pieces. It's just a shame that some of the comedy doesn't really quite work, and yeah, it does feel like a bit of a retread from the first one. And then, I've not bought one of these for a while, and it's one of the VHS collections from HMV. Now, they basically did these like VHS mock-ups in terms of the box and the way that the discs are shown. But I've had 8 before. I've had Airplane, Beverly Hills Cop, The Frighteners, The Warriors, 48 Hours, Jaws, The Thing, and Scarface. So I thought I may as well get my hands on this one, especially since, again, it was half price. And yeah, I really do like the presentation of these. It's just really neat. Yeah, it's just a basic Blu-ray inside with a DVD going with it as well. But you do get a poster, you do get a sticker, and you do get a miniature art card in some respects. So yeah, sorry that for some reason one of the discs has fallen out a little bit there. Yeah, it makes it look like a tape reel as well, which I really do like. And really nice solid box going with it as well, which is pretty good. So yeah, got a little card showing a scene from it, and a bit of the script as well on the back there. And then you got a sticker with the lead characters on it, and then you got a poster as well, which is basically the poster on the front of the box, just with all the credits on it. So yeah, I really do like these releases. Just a shame that they didn't do all that much more of them. It's because of these releases that I don't have The Thing on our video Blu-ray. Although if they ever release a 4K version, I probably will get it on that. But yeah, regardless, and I really do like those VHS releases. And then we have 4 films here from 4 individual labels. So we'll go through them first. From Criterion, we have Written on the Wind. I always forget if it's in or on. But yeah, fantastic cast. It's Rock Hudson, Lauren Bacall, Robert Stack, and Dorothy Malone. Really nice, really good gothic melodrama kind of film, and yeah, fantastic release from Criterion because it looks absolutely superb. And yeah, you even get a poster with it, with all the write-up on the back as well, which I wasn't expecting. Usually you just get the write-up and you don't get any of the get anything extra on top of that. But yeah, so not only do you get a bunch of aspects in terms of the write-up, you get a No Good End by Blair McClellan, I think he's called that. And yeah, you get all the write up there, but crucially, as far as I'm concerned, you get the poster on the back, which I really, really do like. So I will probably put that up at some point. But yeah, fantastic film, fantastic release. So yeah, do highly recommend that. Now you might well have heard of this film lately because Red Letter Media did something on it, and I think other channels have covered it recently as well. And since I kind of enjoyed The Incredible Melting Man that Red Letter Media also mentioned, I figured I'd get this as well. And that is Stone Cold from 101 Films. Now, I've heard apparently the price on this has been going up ever since that, but I actually only found it for £8, so yeah, I'm not quite sure why. But yeah, apparently this is both the best and worst action film going. And what I saw from Red Letter Media, it does kind of look like that, but I'm into my kind of 80s, early 90s action films, so yeah, as far as I've not seen this since. And even though I've never seen anything with the lead actor in it, it does have Lance Henriksen and William Forsythe in it, so I've seen plenty of stuff with either of those, so yeah, looking forward to seeing that. And then from 88 Films, we have something that's different from them. Usually they put out something like from Hong Kong action films or more exploitation efforts, but from them, we actually had Mate One. I thought it was originally called Matter One, but then they say it in the film Mate One, so yeah, I'm calling it that. Written and directed by John Sayles, who I've not seen anything from before, but I'm definitely going to check out more from him in the future now, because this is an absolutely superb effort. It's also got a really good cast, Chris Cooper and James Earl Jones, and yeah, really nice release, nice slip cover on it. And there's the film itself. And yeah, if you're not someone that's into it, who doesn't believe in unions or equal worker rights or anything like that, then this isn't going to be a film for you. It's definitely a film for me because that is right up my alley as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, you get a nice booklet with it. And yeah, talking about the film, the themes, shows you aspects from the actual, shows you scenes from the film itself as well. Now, I never knew that this was actually based on a real life event. So yeah, when I did find that out, it made it all the more impactful, and I definitely read up on more of it. So yeah, really, really good release, and not something I expected from 88 Films, to be honest, because usually they go for more, you know, exploitation kind of films, or more, you know, entertainment based films, rather than something that has a serious themes or is based in real life. So yeah, it was a really surprising release from them. And then from BFI, we have Class 2 Risque, or in English, The Big Risk. Now, even though this isn't directed by Jean-Pierre Melville, who I've been really into with the box set that I got recently, it does star two people in it that were in his films, Lino Ventura and John Pure Belmondo, who were really, really good in their respective films. So, yeah, based on those two alone, and the fact, you know, it's 50s, I think, 1950s? Yeah, 1959, and it's French, which has been a kind of decade and country that I've been really getting into lately. I figured, yeah, you can't really go wrong with this. And yeah, the reviews have been pretty good that I've looked up at, and it's Blu-ray and DVD. And again, like in Mate One, you get a nice little booklet as well. So yeah, again, just going talks about the cast. Got a write-up by John Patterson. Talks about the film. Then you got shots from the film as well, like there. And then you got talk about another write-up by Jeff Andrew, and then you goes about the rest of the presentation itself and acknowledgements and, you know, the like. So yeah, really looking forward to finally watching that. And then from Network, who continue to be the Blu-ray label that has really shot up in terms of what I've bought from them in the last year or so, and the first of which is the Amicus file. Now, I have actually seen this. Some of these I haven't seen, but I think the only one out of the lot that I've shown you so far that I haven't seen has been, yeah, Class 2 Risque, or The Big Risk. So yeah, but I have seen this one, and it's a really good film, really good effort from Michael Caine in the lead role. It's also got it's produced by Harry Saltzman and directed by Sidney J. Fury, who I've seen stuff from before. And you can actually link this in 3 ways to the James Bond series, because it's produced by Harry Saltzman, who produced the first 5, 6, 7 or 8 films from the James Bond series. I think he sold his stake in the James Bond series in the 70s. But then it's also got the score done by John Barry, and it's edited by Peter Hunt, who not only edited several of the James Bond films but also directed On Her Majesty's Service. So yeah, really solid spy film. This it's a real opposite to what the James Bond series was doing at the time, so which is even more weird when you consider it's got not only a few people that worked on the James Bond series, but it's doing something completely different. And yeah, again, got a nice booklet. There's Michael Caine. And yeah, more write-ups. Yeah, different class, Michael Caine and the Hypocrite's File, which, yeah, it's basically the opposing aspect to James Bond. Guess you could say if it wasn't for James Bond, you might not have had that, but regardless, it is nice to see an opposing film. And then we have something a bit more serious, Victim, starring Dirk Bogarde. Now, this is about a homosexual man who's in the closet. Weirdly though, and he gets outed during the film and stuff like that, but weirdly though, Dirk Bogarde was also in the closet during the filming of this film. So, yeah, it's basically him in a lot of ways on film, being himself. And yeah, I guess that must have been a really weird experience for him. Directed by Basil Dearden, who I think I've seen something from before. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing this film. Again, like I said, this is only the third effort from the ones I've shown you so far that I haven't seen, because I forgot I haven't seen obviously Stone Cold. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing it. And yeah, it's nice to see that such a film is getting the kind of release it deserves. Because obviously at the time it was really rather lampooned and banned in, I think it was banned in the US. So at least it's now going to get a bigger audience, the audience it deserves. And then from a company that I've not bought anything from before, this is Shameless Screen Entertainment, but they had a sale on, so I figured let's get a couple of those that I've been wanting to watch. And both of them are from Lucio Fulci, and the first is The Psychic from 1977. And yeah, I heard good things about this. Got a nice slipcover on it, and yeah, yellow case, which I don't think always works in terms of the poster artwork, but it's at least different. And yeah, rated an 18, as you'd expect from a Lucio Fulci film. And yeah, but I have been enjoying plenty of Lucio Fulci films, so I'm hoping this is going to be as good as those. And yeah, hopefully it will be worth the gamble, really, because again, like I said, I've not seen it yet. And another one I've not seen from Fulci that I also haven't seen, The Beyond. Fantastic case, quite frankly. The reason it looks like that is because not only the case is fully clear, but the part of the artwork is clear as well, and the disc is actually backwards, so you can see the eye that is there as well. So yeah, really wasn't expecting such a case from, you know, what is at the end of the day a sale item, but yeah, fantastic looking case. Apparently it's good, but again, like I said, with The Psychic, I've not seen it so far. And finally, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 films from Indicator. Now, I've seen all but 2 of these so far. So I'll go through the ones I've not seen yet. First one is Suddenly Last Summer. Got a great cast, Elizabeth Taylor, Katharine Hepburn and Montgomery Clift. And it's also directed by Joseph L. Mankiewicz, who apparently is, well, I'm not saying apparently, is a good director, because I have seen stuff from him before. And yeah, really looking forward to seeing this. Sounds like the kind of film that is right up my alley, and I'm surprised I've not seen it since. Or before. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing that. And then we have To Sir With Love. I've still not seen Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, also starring Sidney Poitier, but I will eventually get round to it. I'll probably have a double bill of the both of them, to be honest, at some point. But yeah, really looking forward to watching that. And yeah, again, the standard edition. Most of these were actually on a 5 for 40 sale, so that's why I got them. And then we have The Full Treatment from Val Guest. Now, this is a really good psychological thriller. Basically, a guy who was in a car crash, who's been recovering ever since that car crash, starts thinking starts having problems in terms of what is going on in his life, and whether or not he actually thinks he wants to kill his wife and stuff like that. And yeah, it's really well done. Really tense. Got a great cinematography in black and white. And directed by Val Guest, who I've enjoyed several films from before. And then we have from Amicus Productions, Torture Garden. Now, this is another one of their horror anthology films. Bought it purely because I've been enjoying a lot of their horror anthologies, like the Vault of Horror and Tales from the Crypt. And yeah, this is as good as those films, to be honest. It's got a good cast: Jack Palance, Burgess Meredith, Peter Cushing, and it's directed by Freddie Francis, who also did another one of their anthology films. And yeah, this is a really good film. It's got a really good wraparound plot to it, because it's only got 4 stories, 3 of which are great, 1 of which is just about decent, but then it's all paid off with a really good epilogue. And yeah, easily one of the more satisfying epilogues to a horror anthology that I've seen. And then another one that was part of that 5 for 40 deal, so the previous 4 were part of the deal, and this is the 5th and final one, and it's Fanatic. Already seen this a while ago, but been meaning to get onto it. And yeah, Tallulah Bankhead is absolutely superb in this film. And yeah, it's a really good effort, to be honest. Really highly recommend it. Directed by Silvio Nariasano. So it's an Italian director, but I think it's a British production. But regardless, you've also got Donald Sutherland in a early supporting role. So yeah, if you're a Donald Sutherland fan, then you know, that's the kind of film to really get into from him. And yeah, these next 2 were only recently released, I think, but they only recently came in the post. And first of which is Fragment of Fear. Now, I think this is a standard edition of a more limited edition that came out a while ago, but yeah, got David Hemmings in it, and again, it's a really rather good psychological thriller. Doesn't have the best payoff in the world, does feel like a bit of a cop-out, but still, a really, really good effort. And yeah, again, David Hemmings does a really good job, just like he did in Deep Red. And finally, but not lastly, we have a disaster thriller from 1978. So right at the end of the whole disaster genre, golden age in the 70s. And that is Grey Lady Down, starring Charlton Heston, David Carradine, and Stacey Keach. And yeah, really good effort. Basically, a submarine gets hit by an out-of-control freighter, starts to sink, and you basically have to try and get to the surface as the submarine is slowly filling with water. Now, this is a limited edition, unlike the rest, so that means you get a really nice chunky booklet with it. And there is Charlton Heston. And there's Charlton Heston, I believe the director, who was David Green. And yeah, it's got all of the cast in it. You also got Ned Beatty in this, who seems to be the only other one out of there that I recognise. Yeah, you got write-ups on it as per usual. In Deep Water by Omar Ahmed, which was done in 2021. It's a pretty recent write-up there. Oh yeah, there's also Christopher Reeve in this, in a real early role, because obviously this was before Superman. And yeah, you got another write-up by Clarence Zates called Navy Runs Tight Ship and Film Companies Must Follow Orders. And another write-up, critical response at the time that it got. There's the original poster, which is pretty good, to be honest. I really like the look of that. And yeah, about the presentation and all the special thanks, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that is a lot of films that I have bought in the last few weeks, clearly. But like I said, I am going to start, pulling off the throttle a little bit in terms of how much I buy, purely because of space. So yeah, I am really running out of space, no doubt about that. I've recently breached the 1,000 mark in terms of films that I own, which I'll be doing a special on in a week or so. And yeah, that means I am going to have to cut down on what I'm buying. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop. There's plenty of films coming out in the next few months or so that I'm really looking forward to. There's a new Giallo Essentials box set from our video. There's Tenebrae that is coming out on 4K finally, to go along with the other 4 Argento films that are already been released, and yeah, amongst other things. So yeah, you will definitely see those kind of videos, but in terms of updates, it might be a little bit slower than normal. But yeah, what I'm going to do to solve the space issue is basically, with the kind of basic Blu-rays like this, is take them out of the case and put them in a folder that you can slide them into, and then just put the cases in storage, basically. So yeah, because I have a lot of basic Blu-rays that I'm not really fussed about being seen out in the open. So yeah, hopefully that'll solve my space issues for a while. But regardless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.